Hello, this is Steve, Dichroic Glass Man. I used to sell on eBay lots of dichroic glass and cabochons under the name Indiana Glass Man. Well, after taking about a year off from doing dichroic bevels and jewels, I'm now back. I'm going to start fusing again, perhaps even get into my lesson plan. Before I fuse up this glass, I figured I'd throw some cabochons next to the appropriate glass and then talk about those for just a second before I go fusing it up and not having the glass, these bits, odds and ends, so it gets some use out of them. This is called fipple. Fipple's a very heavy texture. It makes some pretty cool effects. These are just pieces of fipple with clear over the top predominantly. Fipple is a combination of ripple, being right here, and fibroid, right here. This is fibroid. You mix the two together, of course not just quite mixing them, but this is the way the way they explain it. This is called prismatic, green, magenta, blue prismatic. That's a real heavy texture. And so is this one, radium ripple. I like this one. This is rainbow 2. Or rainbow 3, more than likely rainbow 3, which would be splinter. All those colors of cabochons, all these examples came out of the same sheet of glass. Now these scraps of raw dichro here, this raw radium, they're not all out of the same sheet. I just grabbed some odds and ends and threw them together so you can see that there's quite a variety of colors. But within a sheet of rainbow 3 in this case, you have 8 distinct bands of color. So let's just look at some of these up close. Really love radium, especially splinter, rainbow 3. You get all these colors out of the same sheet of glass. It's crazy. It's pretty cool too. Now this is called herringbone, and herringbone's very tight ripple, so to speak. This is a good piece. This is green, magenta, blue. And there's a yellow violet or a yellow purple underneath there. I'd have to look on the back. And these are cyan copper. Those 4 gold ones are all out of the same sheet, and then this one's out of a different green, magenta, blue. But herringbone leaves a really tight pattern at times. You can see the indentations, the valleys, the ridges, so to speak. And then we have granite ripple. There's 2 kinds of ripples, ripple and granite ripple. Granite ripple's very tight pattern. This is granite ripple. There's green, magenta, blue. You see the highlights and the lowlights, if there was such a thing. And here's some of the cabs made with that. These are just simple cabs. They're just one piece of bottom glass, like this one here, cyan, Aurora Borealis cyan red, with just a clear piece of glass over the top. Makes these 3. For the most part, all these are just simple one-step, what I call a one-step fuse. This is called granite. I didn't have any cabochons made out of granite for you to see, but this is called granite. This is called thin reed. Thin reed's pretty cool, especially when you make it over here on this bottom left one. It looks kind of roach, buggish, scarab, that type of thing. Clear coat cap over the top of all 4 of these, but when you just put it over the top, the little ends protrude. As you can see over here, these little ends, they're really cool. This is called accordion. Accordion's pretty neat. The lines are separated with little valleys, distinctive little valleys, and it makes pretty cool little cabs as well. That's reptile. That's reptile. This is reptile up, and this is reptile up. There's no clear coat over the top. Let's get a close-up of that. You can see it's one of the only dichroic glasses effects that I will fuse without a clear cap on the top. I don't especially like that foil look, that, and neither do a lot of people, potential customers. They don't either. and that's fibroid, very thin, kind of like corduroy. Again, fipple, and this is radium, and that's herringbone, and that's granite ripple. So I'll just give you a collage of different potentials, possibilities, or just a few scraps of glass. I made these cabs here to accentuate these various textures. I've done a lot of, on my old previous website, I had a lot of information. It was an information site, more or less. And so you got to make these cabs so you can express what the texture will look like when it gets fused up. I use them for my teaching classes and what have you. So now I'm going to start selling these cabs. All these are going to be for sale. These are going to be my Econo cabs. They're not anything that I would call my highly detailed dimensional cabochons. And by the way, I'm getting ever so close. If I come back here and start fusing again, I may start videoing my whole process so that I can sell it on my website of dichroicglassman.com. I've had a lot of people ask me over the years, 100, 150 people perhaps over the last 5, 6, 7 years if I would teach. By the way, I'm almost 100% colorblind. A lot of people can hardly imagine. I don't know what you see because I'm almost 100% colorblind. I'm in fact 87%. It's been measured. And I have synesthesia, which means it's called a mixing of senses. On some sort of an intuitive level, I can hear color and I can see sound. So literally when I'm making glass, I'm making music. It's kind of an intuitive way of seeing things. That inner meditative conscious state was kind of confusing, and now I use it as one of my default senses. It's the way I get along in determining my color choices. Going back up to here to the dichroic bevels and jewels, I've been highly involved in this process as well. So thanks for watching my video, and I'm going to be seeing a lot more fusing videos because I'm going to get back into that. So hooray for the people who keep asking me if I would start again, and here we go. So thanks a lot for watching as always, and thank you. Bye bye.